Complain, complain, complain. All I do is complain about Monster Hunter Wilds. But no matter how much I complain about the game, I just keep on playing it. So today, let's take some time to talk about everything great about Monster Hunter Wilds. This is going to be a completely factual, heavily researched, objective list of biased personal opinions about everything good in this game. If I miss any of your favorite points, feel free to point it out, because there's more good stuff to talk about than I have time to put in a video outside of my work hours. Now, let's get right into it with the normal stuff. What is the normal stuff? When I started this script, I realized I didn't want to waste 30 minutes talking about all the things we already know Monster Hunter does well, so we're gonna just try and do them all in one go. We're talking weapon designs, armor designs, monster designs, complex weapon movesets, addictive game loop, robust gameplay, and fun combat. Part of the reason why Monster Hunter is so successful as a series is because the minimum bar that we've come to expect for every one of these categories is already very high. No one goes to the video game grocery store and goes, "Oh boy, I sure hope this Monster Hunter game has good monster hunting." Like, no. They basically always nail this. They nailed it again this time, and no matter how much you or me complain, we're probably gonna buy the DLC too, and that speaks volumes. The lore dump. I was pleasantly surprised to see how much lore this game gave us. And not just individual game lore, but overall Monster Hunter lore. Monster Hunter has always had a mysterious ancient civilization, actually there's probably multiple of them, multiple civilizations, that quietly hides in the back of every game. And while we have gotten bits and pieces of them in previous games, this game is pulling some mysteries out of their hiding spots. We're getting civilization names, a whole city, and to my surprise, even some equal dragon weapon stuff. See, I told you I'd talk about it eventually. For anyone who doesn't know, Monster Hunter has some original lore and concept art that was created for it a long time ago. On a desk in Capcom somewhere lives this horrific-looking Frankenstein creature. Actually, it's Frankenstein's monstrous creature. Shut up. That was mankind's middle finger to nature. I had long thought this concept was thrown away in a dumpster behind Capcom somewhere, given that they never made it canon. But it turns out it was not thrown away, and most likely reconstructed. Constructed. Haha, get it? Into what's now Zoshia and turned into canon. Which is perfect because this is Monster Hunter, and we turn monsters into canons all the time. While I don't know if this is a retcon or how they always meant it to be, or if there is an equal dragon weapon somewhere that's not Zoshia, but the fact is, I'm actually excited to find out. What is Zoshia? How was it made? Is it made of the 3 different Fatalises? Or is it just modeled after them? Why did they need to make it? What did they need to fight with it? All fun mysteries that for once have me genuinely curious about the story. Octopuses. 1 octopus? Sure. But 2 octopuses? Think of how many nickels that is. Think of the size of takoyaki we could make. Wait, Tom, I have an idea for a recipe. If you like the content, consider subscribing. And if you don't like the content, then maybe also consider subscribing, because then it'll be easier for you to leave hateful comments if it's just there in your subscription feed. The vibe and aesthetic. Alongside some of the lore, this Monster Hunter game has a drastically different vibe than some of the others I've played, which is admittedly not a whole lot, but you long-term veterans in the comments can confirm if that's the case. I know we have some otherworldly spooky monsters in other games, like Nakarkos and even Gogmazios to some extent, but once you start hitting the Guardian monsters, the game takes an interesting turn to an almost sci-fi experience. I think in everything from their appearances, sounds, cyberwave EDM soundtracks, and even gross chrysalises. All the Guardians are supposed to feel like an unholy abomination against nature. And while it's a bit different than what I'm used to in Monster Hunter, it is a welcome change.
The cute stuff.
Now Capcom has always sort of realized how marketable the cute stuff from their games are. I mean, they've been shoving Poogie into just about everything they can fit this little pink pork chop into, but I still feel like they could do more. Like, instead of Olivia, if you just slapped a Palico holding a Poogie onto the cover of this game, sales for this game would probably double across both genders. I suppose they've been doing that for Puzzle Isles. And they clearly understood that for this game too. Tiny ski rats? Yup. Oh, you guys like the Downy Craigson world? How about we put them in this game? And also 200 more in Suja. And you know what? Let's just put a massive mama in too. Yeah, they'll love that. And they were right. They just straight up gave Gemma a Jan Kutku plushie that she carries around with her like a frickin' ABG Labubu. And honestly, it makes the game so much better. The wylk. Why? Why did they have to call the white, sticky monster fluid the wyvern milk? They had to know what people were gonna do with that, right? The whole story, it's called wylk. And then one day it's revealed that it's short for wyvern milk. And I immediately thought, oh no. It is, however, really hilarious, so it goes on the good list. Rove. Oh, you thought Rove was gonna be in the cute stuff category? Hell no. Rove gets his own category. I shouldn't have to explain to you why this little linguistic Linian is everyone's favorite character. His general demeanor and appearance, the way he grills fish, the fact that every other Woodwood barely cops together basic sentences, while this perfect poet is more eloquent than the entire Avis unit combined. But my favorite feature of the Wandering Woodwood is that the only currency he accepts is chalice weed and goblet weed from his hometown, the Scarlet Forest, which comes to show that no matter how wild your adventures become, or how far your travels take you, you always long for the sweet taste of home. You can take a Woodwood out the woods, but you can't take the woods out the Woodwood. The comedic beats in the story. The story itself is alright, which for a recent Monster Hunter game is above average, but there's a few spots that are incredibly funny. Both intentionally and unintentionally. Like when you successfully repel the Uthduna, and then Arkveld shows up and beats it to death. And after this dramatic cutscene, complete with Nata's trademark Arthur fist clench meme, you're just standing next to this dead Uthduna, and you're like, well, I wouldn't want this to go to waste. And then you just start carving it. Or when the Woodwoods are talking about how cool they think the Congalala fur is. So of course, being the good citizen you are, you agree to go help them hunt one. So finally, you find it. Then these little shits start ripping the hair off of him while he's still alive, which already got a good puff of air chuckle out my nose. But then after you kill it, and you see them next time, their leader is absolutely dripped out, head to toe, in Congalala fur. And in their base, they straight up have a massive pile of Congalala fur that they sleep on. And I don't think they ever really mention it. And then even just the overall story beats, like when Nata is faced with the trolley problem, and then you fix it by just shooting the trolley in the back of the head. I don't say this often, but absolute cinema. Focus mode. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just make a video complaining about focus mode? Yeah, well, as much as I hate some of the consequences of focus mode itself is absolutely wonderful and makes everything feel real good. And that's it. Or at least, that's it for now. I definitely thought of a bunch more things while writing this, but you guys should add some more in the comments as well. I know I complain a lot about this game, and there's a lot to complain about, like performance, but I do feel that Monster Hunter always hits a minimum bar for me that I can't complain about. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.